WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And we are back earlier, like I said, 10 points for me. We're back earlier with Activated Mornings this morning. It's now 7:43 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we're discussing the viral videos that went viral over the weekend.
Sorry.
Kind of redundant, right? But yes. But here we go, right? My take.
Yeah, continue with your take,
A few years ago, I went to a party in the Grenadines in Beckway. And if you know me, I always talk about this.
Yeah,
there were a bit of disagreements between a few people at this party. And the people that were getting in the disagreements, you would have figured that much wouldn't have come out of it. Well, a rational thinking person attending the party would have figured that nothing was coming out of it. There was a bunch of hold me back. No physical thing really happening at this party. And then about 3 of them happening at once. There was one black squad officer, a little wet behind the ears, did not know how to handle the situation and started firing shots. I think he fired one for sure. I can't tell you how much because I don't remember. But I remember him taking out his gun and firing it into the air out of panic. Now I'm looking at this video. And the officer, is it the officer that he picked up? No. So the officer clearly is having a disagreement with the villagers. It reached to the point where he had, I won't say that's gun butt, but he did use, he did use the rifle to shove off one of the guys. Now, I'm looking at it and I'm trying to understand how it got to that point, but I don't have the context on how it got to that point. Where things went wrong, in my opinion, is when he said, and I just feel like for bust me gun. And the person holding the camera said, well, bust it now. And he did that, and the crowd did not move. The person holding the camera didn't even, the camera didn't even tremble. The person was like, yeah, no, what? No, I'm trying to understand, in a situation like that, what did that solve? Now, what I do agree with is the police officer's job entails them to enforce the law. But would he have been right to shoot or to injure, even fatally, one of the persons in the video? Because what it looked like, it didn't look like a riot. It didn't look like they were attacking police officers. It looked like they were trying to prevent something from happening. And I know a lot of people would say, you're preventing the officer, you're obstructing justice, which is correct. You are obstructing justice. But what I want is the context. The number to call 457-9997, also the number to WhatsApp. What I want to know is, how did it reach to that point? Because I think with the context, we would know what exactly happened and if it is that the police, or in our opinions, if the police was right or wrong.
Okay. Now I would hold on to okay, let me tweak it a little bit to a certain extent. Right? Where I'm coming from, context is not needed. Does context give civilians a right to, you see in the video, what difference would it make? One civilian, two, look, somebody else, another civilian is coming to the back of a police officer to pull him off, right? Another civilian comes in again, tries to pull him off. Another civilian falls on the ground, the officer on the ground. Now, when I say the officers have a right, they have a right to protect themselves. And I think the reason he said a mad for busma, whatever, is to try to dispel the crowd, because the intention is, if I say this, they are going to calm down and allow us to do our job. But that didn't happen. Even when you fired off the warning shots in the air, they still aim budge. And I think that is a reason for concern. Even when you are trying to prevent the absolute worst from happening, which is protecting yourself in a way that you have to like shoot somebody, civilians still did not back off and allow the officers to do their job. And we see it from time to time. Okay. Sometimes officers are a little bit wild. Some of them, police will deal with them. Hopefully. Yes, I think I have a little bit of faith in that. But civilians are not supposed to intercept officers when they are working. Not supposed to. And the ease and the comfort in which multiple of them, and I'm yet to see, and I'm going to look again to see if I'm wrong. I'm yet to see a civilian telling another civilian to back off the officers and let them do their job. If it is that they are arresting the wrong individual, when they get to maybe the barracks or wherever, they do whatever they need to do. If he's wrong, if it's the wrong person, then he will be released. Just let them do their job. When they don't pick up the murderers, they don't pick up the thieves, the murder rate goes up. Who gets the direct line of fire? The officers.
Now, in reaction to that, right? I remember when I was arrested, the fight was happening right there. The police officers walked past the fight, walked past the actual fight happening, and came and grabbed me. And people at the side saying, "Why are you grabbing him? He had nothing to do with this." And look at this.
But is that the same?
Look at this.
Is that the same thing that's happening here?
No,
One
here the people.
one person's experience is not everybody's
I
experience.
know, but here, me personally, I would have preferred if people got involved and took the officers off of me and stopped them from putting their hands on me for no apparent reason.
Okay, well, that is your personal experience.
And that's my personal experience.
Right, so
I can't just say I want officers to just do their job and whatever happened. When the officers got to the station, you know what they say? I never put my hands on you yet. And to know, to this day, I never get no justice for that. I never got justice for officers kicking me off, slapping me off. I never got any justice for that. So when I hear, oh, we just need to let them go through the process, I could never be in agreement with that, because not all the time they're doing their jobs properly, and not all the times they're doing the correct job.
Why you never got justice?
I never got any justice. I wanted it to go to court. I wanted to sue the police. And I never got to that point. I was taken to court. I had to defend myself for something that they did wrong.
So how come you never took them to court?
Because after that, I ended up going and studying in Taiwan. And I could not have gone through the court process while in Taiwan. And every single person that I spoke to, lawyers included, said, you know, nothing will come out of that when you try to bring a case against the police. Every single person that I spoke to said that to me. So when I see that, I need context before I decide whether or not the officers were right. Because I know how exactly they treat civilians, especially civilians without a certain surname. Because I can tell you from what I've seen with my own eyes, persons in St. Vincent with certain surnames, they do whatever they want. And the police tend to look the other way or leave them alone, or they would never think to put their hands on them.
Not only with certain surnames, no.
But I could tell you from what I know and what I've seen and from my experience.
And not just with police, with people, there is a bit of prejudice towards and against certain people. But I think that we should take a breather at this time because clearly what I said triggered you a bit, not a bit much,
but I don't like I know being rational that the police have to do their job, and if it is that there was a brawl or there was something crazy happening and they needed to arrest the perpetrators and the civilians got involved, the civilians are wrong. But if it's a case where they're grabbing the wrong person and it got to that and people are saying, yo, that's the wrong person you're grabbing or whatever, and it still got to, because what I've seen or what I've experienced, police tend to approach people, grab them disrespectfully, assault them, and then that is their way of arresting. There's no handcuffs, sorry. There is no detaining anyone who is. Now, if it is that you're putting up a fight against the officers, I could understand detaining with force. But do we have handcuffs in Simmons and the Grenadines? Yes, we do. Do officers use the handcuffs when arresting people? I don't see it. I don't see it at all. But I don't know. We have comments on the WhatsApp because maybe somebody could give us context on what happened.
Okay. A first church member is here. What's the first church member? On the leadership of Pastor Gino Jennings. Making a point, it is are there 3 sides of every story. While in agreement with you, Ari, the experience are going to intervene, guilty by association. And only guilt by association comes in, but
I don't know how that comes into let's see what the WhatsApp's saying, because I'm really hoping somebody from
for me.
Remember, you have the mouse there.
Oh,
yeah.
What's the pass the mouse now? Pass the mouse now. Pass it from the left hand side.
I'm really hoping somebody from Chappins, or somebody who at least have a family member or somebody who could give us more context on what happened.
Tomato, will agree to disagree this morning.
Okay, so it is Chappins. And okay, so I don't have really much of a comment here on the WhatsApp. But hopefully the police put out something. You're right, because they have been a lot more media friendly, and maybe we'll get more context. Maybe one of the news sites would investigate the situation. But I really do think I need to know what happened before I decide that the civilians are wrong or the police is wrong.
But watch a day in Simmons, not the Grenadines, eh? Watch a day in SVG. The amount of civilian versus police officers when we're supposed to be working together.
Mm-hmm.
You know the funny thing about this, right? The funny thing about this is, and it's not funny at all, is it's just how quickly civilians will run in to defend an adult civilian against the police, but they will not quickly defend a child and protect the child, like from a rapist or a sexual predator or something. You know? So we watched like known village rapists, known village sexual predators walk up and down the streets of the village, but you don't see them like scuffling them up.
I do
You
think
don't see
in
them
some
like
villages
trying to
people
like,
do get them a little beaten.
We don't see it.
Yeah.
We don't see it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really legal. I don't think you should be videoing beating.
You don't see it. But you see people planning, people in Georgetown though, right?
But then,
so like the police officers, like they're doing the job, and this is not the first time you see in something like this. We don't see civilians.
You might think about it like,
do you see
when you're defending somebody who is, now again, I'm not saying this is fact. I'm saying in theory, you're defending somebody who is being wrongfully arrested, as opposed to somebody that's a known child molester or rapist. To go and grab the children, I think is the best thing. But to remove these children from the situation, but to get violent with them, I think that is where the police should be the one doing the job. Because while you're talking, I'm remembering there are a lot of videos coming out of some African and Latin American countries where villagers take it really far, where villagers remove their private parts, where villagers decapitate people, where villagers beat people to death when they're accused of inappropriate behavior towards minors and women. So is it that we want that to happen in every case, or we want the police to get involved in a case like that?
Police should get involved in everything they should get involved in. I was trying to include like multiple like crimes in one, but they don't really like mesh, you know, because there are certain like, okay, I was gonna say disagreements or like unlawful acts
Mhm.
and unlawful acts, but sometimes disagreements can be settled between people without the intervention of police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Right
think that's a
parts.
big thing also, conflict resolution. We and police officers have come here to WFM and they have stated that they're really trying to improve their relations with the public. So I know it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but hopefully, as time goes by, we won't have to see incidents like these happening.
Yeah, I still think it was disrespectful for people to intervene.
Yeah.
I don't see anywhere in the video, although people start videotaping after a certain point, the video does not depict any sort of like violence towards like civilians. Um, in terms of like aggravating them, it just shows like everybody's just trying to like do what they feel is
Yeah.
right in that moment.
The funny thing about clips is you only get to see one side.
Yeah.
So the best we could hope for is that police civilian relations be improved. Now, speaking about conflict resolution, we have roughly 2 minutes. I think we could go a bit over to talk about the second video.
Second video after it,
We'll do it
because
after
that
it.
one,
Yeah, boy.
that one,
Yeah, boy.
in addition to it, I think it's the general perception, maybe not the general perception, but it's something that's really scary. And I think Vincentians need to like grab hold of ourselves in terms of our lawlessness. Even in moments when I'm in a bus and an officer is trying to do his job, and I think it goes to respect probably some drive for some officers. You hear sitting back and just to be able to like be a not referee, but like a judge, like, okay, yeah, the driver was kind of wrong in this case. So y'all just ease up off the officer. He's actually doing his job. Some people will just jump in without listening, without hearing, without knowing. They don't even care if the driver was right or wrong. They're on the driver's side. Some people
That's
do
true.
that. So
That is true.
like,
I've seen that happen a lot.
Just either get all the information that you need before you open them out, or just let the people do their job. If it boils down to them being unfair to the driver, then they will be dealt with. You know that it's be dealt with. So
Yeah, but not all the time.
no,
Not all the time we get the justice
conscience
that we're
will deal
looking
with them
for.
so much.
Conscience.
The universe, karma.
Some of them police don't have no conscience.
I tell you, karma.
But also some of them civilians don't have no conscience. The important thing we need to do is come together and have a good relationship so that incidents like this won't happen in the future.
Good luck to that one.
But
remember,
you know what? I'll say this point before we break, right? I was saying that we need to bring back community policing, where police knew everybody in the community, where they had a good relationship, where persons knew exactly who the police officers were attached to the stations. They knew people on a first name basis. So if it is that an incident happened, the police in that area could use a judgment and it would be like, that's odd for this person to be getting into this situation. Or let's say it was a fist fight. As much as a phrase illegal, you could still try to resolve the conflict without it leading to an arrest or persons taken to the station, if that is the case. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. The time is now 8:01 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And your time check was brought to you by, when you laugh, you make me laugh, you know. But yeah, your time check was brought to you by New Haven Funeral Home. We'll be back soon.
Death is a fact of life. Even though death is a fact of life, that doesn't make it any easier. When dealing with the loss of a loved one, you may try to be strong, but it's really hard sometimes. But that's just when the experience of the staff at New Haven Funeral Home can demonstrate their compassion and help to guide your family through the difficult time. So in your time of loss, call the New Haven Funeral Home at 457-1830 or 458-1467 or email newhavenfuneralhome@gmail.com. New Haven Funeral Home, SVG's preferred funeral home.
all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Sparrows, rum, pure sophistication. Sparrows, rum, aged to perfection. Skillfully crafted and forged with pride in oak barrels. A rum so divine. Discover authentic Caribbean rum. Sparrows, premium rum. Sparrows, full-bodied rum. Sparrows, pure sophistication. Discover authentic Vincentian rum. Sparrows, premium rum.
Distilled and blended by St. Vincent Distillers Limited. Please drink responsibly.
Agents, Careers, Distributions Limited.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean Islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack, Interprime Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
That's the sound of your animals. Strong, healthy, and delivering yields you love. That didn't just happen. It began with you feeding them only the best. East Caribbean Feeds. Rest assured, we only produce your feeds with premium ingredients. No hormones, no animal byproducts. Just everything your animal needs for maximum nutrition. Because your animals deserve only the best. East Caribbean Feeds for maximum nutrition.
Turn up your radio to the clean, fresh sound of WEFM 99.
Lord. Is it Chalice again? Hina. Why you don't leave me alone? Cause everything I do you're talking. You're in my business too often. Running your mouth like a plastic parrot. I'm begging you that name out your mouth. Tap the name out your mouth. Tap the name out your mouth. Tap the name out your mouth. Anybody ever tell you talk too much? You run up your mouth too much. You talk too much. You run up your mouth too much. You talk too much. You run up your mouth too much. You talk too much. You run up your mouth too much. Don't study me. Don't study me. Oh Lord, don't study me. Don't study me. Everything good over here. Everything all right over here. All right. Everything nice over here. Real nice. Keep your bad vibes over there. Shut up. Hey. Chatty people. Never see people idle, so they see everything that you do and can't see when things wrong with them. They're talking all your business, talking things they never witness. Meanwhile, they're life in a stinking mess. I beg you, name out your mouth. Tap the name out your mouth. Tap the name out your mouth. Tap the name out your mouth. Anybody ever tell you talk too much? You run up your mouth too much. You talk too much. You run up your mouth too much. You talk too much. You run up your mouth too much. You talk too much. You run up your mouth too much. Don't study me. Don't study me. Oh Lord, don't study me. Don't study me. Everything good over here. Everything all right over here. All right. Everything nice over here. Real nice. Keep your bad vibes over there. Shut up. Some American she never heard soca before. Long time it knocking open the door. But she cannot refuse if she want to ignore. When it's okay, she want to get more. She love it, boy. She love it, boy. She love it, boy. She love it, boy. You know what soca do? It puts you in the mood. You know what soca do? Rise for me and you're ready. She never know, she could have went so. But that's the kind of thing so can make you do. Hey, when it's done, I could have tell you rhythm turn them to her soul. Get she getting on, she's sweating so bad. Music hitting in when she gets the dance. It's a vibe, you can't control. Hey.
WEFM, the new fresh sound. WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Okay, that we got yeah.
Okay, Estelle, go on there, Estelle.
Does she still sing?
Yeah, I saw music for in the 2023 folder. So I'd like to believe so. And we're back this morning with Activated Morning with our favorite guest. Dr. Thompson, good morning. With that opening, I was like, yes.
You're right to open his
the
eyes.
audacity of you.
Boy, I would have just been like, well, time to leave. Oh.
Morning, Doc. I am joking. Do not harm me. I am joking.
No, I took it as a joke and so forth. I could take a joke, you know. Pleasant good morning to all the listeners. Activity morning, Christal. You know,
that was
funny. I've had years of this. So
jabs,
and.
Yeah, you were politics, man. You're back real broad.
Yeah, that's not jab.
As a doctor, you know, as in past episodes of life and so forth. Yes, you learn to take it and
you learn a sense of humor too, man.
And not always hit back.
Yeah,
you know.
You didn't hit back, Dave, though.
Every now and again. Every now and again.
And boy,
speaking of,
let me not say it. No hit back there.
Yes, I know. I
God have mercy on my soul.
I walked into that.
Father God.
But deliberately, I want to remind people.
I'm sorry.
I want to remind people of that. Anyway, let's go.
You want to remind people? I am sorry, Doc.
Wasn't it? No, wasn't it? Isn't it like a year anniversary, Doc?
This is both a year and a month.
Do you remember the date?
My apologies.
Y'all make back yet?
Let's go on.
Remember, he could have taken his legs. He could have. But anyways.
Okay.
Seriously. Yeah. The video.
We got all the laughs out.
Yeah, the video.
Before we get to the video. Live on Facebook and YouTube, WEFM 99 SVG, and the WhatsApp number to call and the number to call. WhatsApp number to message, call, voice note, and the number to call landline 457-9997. Are we getting the shot? All right. Good. Drop a comment, like that shy there. Like, share. You know the full works. Right. So this video that we're gonna show now went viral over the weekend. We saw it yesterday, and we're gonna show it on the live without the audio because the audio is a kind of an audio boy.
A lot of pretty words in it.
If we had to censor it, like put in the bleeps, it would have been like a flat line. All right, so let's go. Let me see if it's gonna. No, let's do this one then. Let me start it over. All right. Okay, so in the video, it appears to be like a 2-story unpainted concrete house that is built on a bank right next to a river somewhere. It looks like St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but the accent sounds very Vincy. And the person in the house is pelting objects at like a group of 4 or 5 people who are on the ground on the side of the river this time, throwing back what appears to be like stones. We assume it's stones because the next to river, what else would they pick up? They wouldn't pick up sponge. In the video again, I'm gonna show it again.
You could also hear stuff clattering in the video. So
Yeah.
it's not clear if it's bottles that they're pelting and it's shattering upon impact, or if the stones are going through windows. We don't know.
Yeah, I think there are bottles too because the cameraman who said we live, looks down on the ground and there's like a bare bottle on the ground. Another thing about this video here is
I would say the main thing.
yes, and I leave it for last on purpose. I'm gonna play it again so that you could see it. If you heard the video, the cameraman at the end says, "Come, Billy, come." Billy is a little boy, and you can see the little boy trying to maneuver over the rocks, and then he flies under somebody's legs and run towards the cameraman for safety. Now, like I said, people are there throwing bottles, what appears to be bottles and stones, objects, whatever projectiles at one another, whatever dispute, and there's a child who has to run to safety. Now, let's discuss this video here.
Doc, what's your take on this?
This is really unfortunate. It's not uncommon. This is something that happens a lot. You know, family members are prone to clan together. That's why, you know, in some cases, the word vendetta, clan war. I mean, throughout history, you've seen a lot of these things, you know, Troy and all these. But here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I would say that I've seen a few of these things myself in various communities and so. And it sometimes passes, it flares up again. Matter of fact, what we've been experiencing in Layu may well be a more extreme version of that. Instead of stones, instead of bottles, it's been bullets, you know? And it resurrects itself every so and so months, every 6 months, a year, and so. But it brings to the question: how do people resolve disputes? You know, and that little boy could have been caught right in the middle of it. It's the same with a stray bullet, a stray stone, a stray bottle, and somebody seriously could have been injured.
So what I think is, this is why the police, and I would believe anybody of authority would say, we need to figure out a better way, a better method in conflict resolution, because these missiles could have easily taken somebody's eyes. They could have hit an innocent person outside of the child in the matter. They could have hit a passerby, somebody just minding their business, came down to the river to wash or whatever, and receive an object to their head or something that could have damaged them for life. On top of that, If it is that you're in an altercation, excuse me. If it is that you're in an altercation and you see a child in the midst, isn't that enough for you to step back and reassess the situation? Both parties didn't stop. Now, let's approach it from the position that Billy is living in the house. You are there firing missiles back and forth. You living in the house. You hear someone scream, Billy, come. You're not going to ensure that Billy's safe. If you look at the video, the person was focused on throwing back stuff at the people. And you in the street, or in the river, sorry, launching missiles to the house. You hear, Billy, come, Billy, come. You see a child, because there's a number of them. I would like to believe at least one person saw that child running on the riverbed to safety. You're not going to say, hey, look at child here. Look at nothing. They just continue doing what they're doing. Now again, all we saw was a clip. So we don't know if later on they decided, hey, a child, will stop. Or we don't know if the police end up getting involved. But in a situation like that, you don't stop and apply common sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they also say common sense ain't not common. Yeah. But I'm wondering if anybody has information on this as well, because we don't know where it happened, but the accent sound very Vincentian.
Yeah, those expletives, Vinci. Well, yeah. First of all, justice for Billy. Yeah, and I say that. Yeah. There's nothing funny about that.
No, I know you're serious when you say justice for
right,
Billy. It just sounds interesting.
In the middle of like all the chaos, even though the person is calling Billy, he's still more interested in capturing the chaos than actually taking Billy to safety. And there's nobody who runs to Billy's rescue. Like he literally has to save himself. And I thought crossed my mind, right? I want to be accustomed to this boy.
Right? Right? The reaction.
Well, I wonder the way he just slid through those. They just slid through the rocks like so quickly. Like he accustomed running on them rocks. He must live there.
But Christal, this thing brings out a number of different scenarios. You said the cameraman,
he appeared to be more interested in capturing than going to Billy's rescue.
This is also being true. You remember when that young lady got beheaded, and so in Tokyo, or various other instances.
Yeah,
that has become the call of the day. The person taking the cameras, they don't get involved.
Somebody video that?
Well,
I think somebody had
after. You know what I mean?
Taken pictures or something like
after,
that.
Yeah, pictures after, but I don't think during there was a video.
It would have been during, but the point about is that people were watching this thing. The lady was crying for her life. They may not have taken the picture. People were seeing, but they wouldn't. I'm just saying, instances like people don't intervene. The second thing is imagine that guy must have had pile up a lot of stuff in his house.
Let's take a call. Yeah, we have a call coming in. Caller, you're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you barely said a couple weeks ago, sometime they can, police can de-escalate the situation and then go back for the people afterwards. So I'm hoping they can do that. And especially the young lady with all that profanity, they should go and take her up if they don't have her already. I remember a time walking in the area. Go ahead.
Recall, sometimes these things are between families, so that the crime is what? The video, somebody took a video of it and posted it so that they'll go back now and this on video. In other words, unless somebody is making a report against another person, you may not necessarily have the police being able to go far with it to arrest anybody and all that sort of thing because they saw a video. You know what I'm saying? There would have to be somebody who would make
it. The police is there. The police were there.
Oh, you know where this happened?
They said Choppins. I think I heard on another radio program. They said Choppins.
It's two different videos.
It's two different videos we're talking about.
Oh, you're not talking about the one with the police.
No, we already spoke about that. Yeah, we already spoke about that.
Oh.
Okay, so your take on it is that the police, if they notice that it's an aggressive situation, they could have come back after and dealt with the person.
Yeah. And drivers and stuff. They have the license plate and stuff. They go back and get the van drivers after instead of escalating the situation. So they can do that in this situation. One time I was walking through that area where the vegetable market and the police station is, and there was this Rasta man driving a Volvo, and he had a male passenger in the front seat, two young ladies in the back, and the police was telling him to drive into the police station. And a crowd gathered. But in the meantime, the police allowed the two young ladies to exit the vehicle, right? And then they eventually go in there and they search them. They had nothing on them. But in the meantime, people out there telling them not to drive into the police station, and they must run the police over. Can you imagine that? You tell the police to run the police over. You probably wouldn't do it if the police you were driving, but you're telling them to run the police over. Very, very irresponsible, man. All right, I'll listen off the air. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I don't know how I feel about that reaction because, again, we do not have context. We don't know why the police were there. Now, if it was a serious situation,
you're talking about in that
the Choppins, the Choppins video where the police had to fire the shot. We don't know the severity of the situation, so we don't know if the police could have left the scene and come back. We really don't know because we don't have the context. We just have a clip. We just have one clip of what was happening. Well, a few clips, but remember I saw it together.
From what he meant.
What did he mean?
I thought he meant in police when they're trying to carry out the duties. If they find it getting a little too hostile, they could just back off, go and come back. But even in that, I don't agree.
But that's what I'm saying. To leave and come back, we do not know the severity of the situation. We don't know why they were called on the scene.
As a matter of fact, what I do know, and I stand corrected, just like in New York and USA, there's been the importation, or there will be the importation of some body cameras, so that the police, whatever they are engaged in and so forth, will be known. You know what I mean? So that if people are accusing the police of doing certain things, or if they do not follow procedure, therefore it would be revealed on their body cameras.
But they're introducing it there, yes. I'm wondering when it will be introduced, because there's a lot of bodies to put that on. There's a lot of cameras.
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. They will do it with certain special units. You have to do everybody. You do a pilot project first and so forth.
I think it's necessary for traffic and first response. So like Black Squad, SSU.
And I think they would have enough for that.
I think those are the departments that should be.
It would help both ways.
Yeah, they should put somebody come on SSU for real. Especially when they are the SSU HQ, so we could see how up they stop.
What? What?
Up there needs fixing.
Oh, okay.
Big up to the SSU officers, by the way.
You were also saying that someone. Oh, you weren't finished?
No, Doc was making a point, and he said the second point was the person had piled up a lot of stuff in the house. So I wanted to see you
amount of missile that individual was throwing. Either that individual was throwing object, his radio or his cell phone or whatever, or he had things piled up, stones piled up, and so forth.
Let's see.
But there was a third point. Was this actually intra-family? Not between one family and another, but intra-family, a brother and a sister, an estranged husband and his girlfriend, wife, and so forth. That little boy, was he, was there brothers of a young lady who came or to confront because of some abuse, because of some issue or something like that? It's really fascinating where this could lead to, and we don't have the whole story.
Yeah.
So your first point, let's see. It's January. We're just coming off
Okay.
of Christmas.
Yeah.
You probably have like 2 cases of bottles put on in the house. It's possible. It is
You're
possible. The second point.
And 2 cases, maybe empty bottles.
Empty
You don't
bottles,
drink
empty
off.
bottles,
You
yeah.
don't drink off.
Boy, I don't know. Maybe me. But I supposed to be throwing 4 bottles after people.
Yeah.
I just spent this money on this case and I had a no. I would lose the
But
fight.
did you see the empty crate? In the
There was an empty. You see, there was an
There was
empty
an
crate.
empty crate. There was an empty crate outside.
Yeah. There were bottles because
Look first,
when one person threw in bottles, somebody else would throw bottles.
But those are
No, look. Like I said just now. Look the empty crate there by the rock. Look at it.
man.
So the child.
But that is the point I wanted to raise. That child ran through your legs. You saw that child and you did not think, hey, there's a child here. Let me try to at least protect the child. Because the child went one way, the guy went the other way.
No, the child had to maneuver away from the crate too.
I know, but the child is going to safety. But you saw a child run between your legs. Your thought isn't, let me try to protect this child.
No.
The child went left, he went right. Anyways.
I thank God, like, what we know now is nothing. The child is all right.
Yes.
But so many things I could say with this child here, boy, more the work in the heat of the moment, and I'm not justifying anybody's inaction to protect the child, because I think instinct should kick in for somebody. It's one person, instinct should kick in. Let me go and protect the child. But obviously, everybody's so hyper focused on fighting this individual or individuals that they didn't even see the child. Only the guy who said, "Come, Billy, come," who was recording it. Even to that, I think it's a side call, because he was still like in the heat of the action and what's not trying to take the child to safety. Children just grew up around some kind of things, and some kind of people. I hope this is not like a customary thing and it's just like a one-off, because sometimes when you see children in school, children bully other children because they're being bullied at home or they see bullying happening. Children become very quiet. Children are passively suicidal. Children are angry. Some of these behaviors that you see in classrooms, and you attribute it to the child just bad, but the child is actually displaying what he or she has learned from home. And the teacher now is supposed to be the one who's supposed to come in and teach the 30 children in the class, plus reparent and parent that child that is experiencing these poor living conditions and to some extent neglect. That to me is a bit disheartening. And I hope, like, in the future, if there is a dispute, like, you guys can settle it at the very first opportunity before it gets to a boiling point where people don't care about who is around. Fling me all the 50 cents points.
I had to comment on what we were discussing earlier as well, where you're saying that it's heartening to see that the person was videoing. That was the first response. And I saw a comment here on WhatsApp that says, is this not a conflicting at the incident for a society that races to church at every occasion? The first reaction for someone is to race for a camera at every event. Murder, man hitting woman, or vice versa, taking pictures and being disconnected from the event around them. I do think that it's a double-sided reaction. Whereas it is good. I don't see the bad in the recording.
But Ari, this is a new phenomenon, you know.
Yes, it is.
Because of cell phones and the fact that cell phones have progressed now to take good video.
Yes.
But in 2010, your cell phone couldn't take a good video.
But now,
yeah,
because of these videos, because of what happened in Choppins, and because of what we're seeing here with the child, the police could now have video evidence that they could present in court. It can assist them in their investigations.
Yes.
While I do agree that the cameraman should have also, instead of standing there saying, Billy, come, run and grab the child. I do wholeheartedly agree with that. But I do think that's why I say it's double-sided. Yes, we do need the evidence, and we do need to know that this situation happened. And a lot of times somebody just says something, it's, oh, I had to take what you say with a pinch of salt because that could be your view. But if you have video evidence, then we know. Because if somebody had called in and say, hey, police was out chopping, firing off shots, it would be like, okay, so yeah, we're not sure if police was really out chopping, firing. But hey, we have video.
How we used to do it on radio before all of this, all the phones and things?
Well, I'll tell you, before the phones, there was a lot of speculation and there was no real proof and so forth. So they've since passed laws that you can use these videos. Some of the videos were being questioned because have they been adulterated? Have they been adjusted or something? But they are now very important. And that's why body cameras, that's why CCTV, that's why other things also complement that whole road. I think it's a good thing that my man that policeman sat on his chest, right?
George Floyd.
And a person was there, young lady. Would you say she should have stopped her phone and gone in and pushed the policeman away?
Exactly.
If it wasn't Vincent, they probably would have done that.
Well, there may be one individual who might have done that, but when you have many individuals, there's nothing wrong with one individual taking a video. If somebody else goes to push away, it's a good thing to take the video.
Yeah, and you know what they would have said? They would have said that never happened. That never happened. When the police arrested me, when I was at the station, the police said, I've never put my hand on you yet.
When? Repeat it again?
I had an issue with the police a few years ago. The police beat me up, kicked me off, slapped me off, and the police watch me in my face and say, I never put my hands on you yet. We're in court and I watching them tell open lies.
Harry, I have listened to you a couple of times. And now you're telling me that, but you may have mentioned before, I'm now seeing at times.
You're reading between the lines.
I'm reading between the lines.
It makes sense now.
Harry comes forward sometimes as being a little hard on the police.
Nah, yeah, don't be hard on
when
them.
the police are having their press conference, he doesn't. But maybe no. I'm saying no. What Harry is doing? No, it's coming forward. I didn't know this, Harry. So
it was in the news.
Well, it was might have been the news at the time 4 years ago. I would not have recognized.
No, not 4 years. This happened like 7, 8 years ago.
Well, I wouldn't have recognized it.
Yeah, it was in Searchlight. It was in Living Sunshine. It was on Eyewitness. It was all over. But yeah, we had a break now, and we'll be back shortly to continue Activated Mornings. Hopefully, this morning Coates would be joining us.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there.